Hi guys, Queen of Flannel here, welcome back to the channel. So we're gonna take a break from mini tutorials today, and we're gonna play with some alcohol markers because that's what I felt like doing today. And I had a little bit more time to work on a bigger project, so why not? Um, this image is called Amber, and it is from Christine Karron. I will link to this in the description below. And this is also the buddy color that Corey over at Colorfully Optimistic, that her community chose to do for uh, our our buddy color this month. So I'm gonna work on this today, and I don't really have a plan, so we're gonna play this fast and loose. I had a kind of a weekend, and I feel like playing with alcohol markers today. So, and we're gonna use the Copics because I have not used my Copics in forever, and they aren't cheap and deserve to be used. So, I'm gonna go ahead and start with the skin. Then I figure that will kind of influence where I go with the rest of the color scheme. And I'm actually not sure what paper I am using. I don't know if this is the Copic Express Blended or if this was some of the Hammer Mill. I honestly can't remember what was in my printer. So, but yeah, so I haven't done a color in chat in a while. I had kind of switched to a more minimal format, which is still going to be the predominant video format for the next little while, but I am in between chores right now. I just came off of a rough drill weekend, so we're gonna see where this goes and if I can finish it in a reasonable amount of time. And I'm just trying to get the majority of this base color on for right now. I'll have to go in and do some of the little spaces down here after I get this done. And I am using for my base color, this is E21 Soft Sun. I wanted her to kind of have a bit more of a tan skin tone, so which is probably going to influence my hair color and my clothing color. But I hope everybody else is doing well. I haven't really chatted too much about what's been going on in my life as of late. Some of it I can't really go into, but my kiddo turned 12, which is kind of sad, that I have a actual preteen now. He's getting ready to go into junior high, which I am also nervous about. And not even so much nervous about because of, you know, my kid. He's got a pretty good head on his shoulders in terms of, who he associates with um and things like that. They're a good group of kids. It's more just kind of the climate of the world today that as a parent has me, you know, um concerned. So kiddo and I have had conversations about a lot of that stuff, and we'll just take things a day at a time. And it will be nice, I think, now that he's at a point in school where they get to start having more of a say in their academic choices. They start business and home classes this year, as well as technology classes. I just need to take a sip of my coffee there. So, and he also gets to start taking a language. And originally he was going to take Spanish. They offer French, Spanish, German, and ASL in our district. And he really wanted to take Spanish. That was his first choice. And I think German was his second choice. I really wanted him to take ASL. I feel like that's a really marketable skill set to have if you can be able to communicate and interpret for the deaf community. But he was real dead set on Spanish, and then I guess they had too many kids that were enrolled, so they had to try and get some of them to swap over. So they did presentations, I think, with the junior high French, German, and ASL instructors, so that the kids would have a better idea about the structure of the classes and the opportunities that it would afford them. And so Joe decided he would swap to German. He found out that if he sticks with it through high school, that they go on like a 7-day trip to Germany. So he was excited about that. And we lived in Germany like the first 4 years of his life. He was barely 4 months old when we PCS'd over there. And gosh, if I hadn't early terminated my my active duty contract, he would have been 8, I believe, by the time came for us to move. So, but he turned 4 before we came back. So he was kind of at an age where he remembers a little bit of living over there, and he still likes to tell people about our time there. So it'll be nice if he gets a chance to go back. And then I'm really excited for him to be able to take take technology classes. He's definitely a STEM kid. He's really into the science and math side of things, so that will be nice. So I might have to bring in a lighter color to blend this out, but we'll see. Give this another layer down here, just to kind of even things up. I feel like I'm out of practice with alcohol markers. And I actually don't know if I've done a video using my Copics. I think I've tried to stick to the more, budget-friendly brands, since I'm using them for adult coloring. Alright, I'm gonna let that dry. And add a little bit. Alright, that is a little bit brighter of a pink than wanted. Alright, let me see if I've got... I actually don't know if I have lighter pink that I can use. Let's try... a little bit of what this does. So this is RV000. And you have to be careful with some of the, when you're working with alcohol markers, some of the 0 colors, because they have a lot of like the blender fluid in them to dilute them out. And depending on what other colors you're using them with, can actually cause a shift. But this one seems to be not too bad. I'm just gonna intersperse some of this around here. I feel like she needs to be like pinked up a little bit. So add some pink. In here and see how it looks when it dries. And I'm not sure what color I'm going to do for her lips yet. But yeah, so she's gonna look a little funky till I get some of the shading and whatnot done and get her lips done. They always look weird until you get the eyes and the lips done. All right, let's add a little pink over here. So the palm of her hand would actually be a little lighter. All right, I'm back. My bad. I forgot to put my phone on airplane mode, and a spam call came through and interrupted my recording. So, but it's okay. We're back. And I'm actually going to bring in for the palm of her hand. This is YR000 Silk. I'm actually not fond of how this side of her face looks, so hopefully I can kind of correct that out with I start adding in my darker colors. Alright, I'm gonna leave the skin alone for right now. Let's decide what we're gonna do for the cloak. I think I want to go with a blue cloak. So let's start out with, all right, I like that color. So this is B41 powder blue. I'm actually not going to, I'm not going to put this everywhere. I'm going to leave some of this white like a highlight. And I might have a lighter blue I can feather those edges out with. Alright, so let's come down here and add some blue down here. And then I will probably do this cuff in, I don't know, do I want to do it gray? Do I want to do it... I don't know. We will figure it out. Like I said, I have no plan. I'm just kind of going for it. Seeing what happens. I'm trying to figure out if this is all... Oh, man. Alright. So it looks like this is underneath the cloak. But we've already committed to it. So this would actually be like the sleeve of her dress, I believe. Alright. We're committed, so we're just gonna keep rolling with it. I should have paid more attention to what was what here. Although we can always do this a different color in here. Yeah, we'll just rock with it. And let's come down here. And I am going to use this over these shadows just so I can keep the undertone of this blue. Because I might go over it with just a with gray. I don't want to lose my tone. And let's see if I have a lighter. Let's use, now that's a, that's a little too green blue. I actually don't have any, at least not in this set of the all right, I'll have to think on that. All right, I am going to say, for the sake of just making this look like it comes down here, since I messed it up, bring this blue down here. Oh, let's see what I have. I thought I had more grays in here too. I may have to grab some grays from another bucket. Maybe. All my markers are mixed up. So this is neutral gray 0. And I'm basically just using this to blend out some of my edges here. Because I don't have a lighter blue in my Copics that is the same tone. So I guess I'm gonna stick with neutral grays for my shading on this. Kind of the fun thing about alcohol markers is that they're pretty forgiving. And the other thing to keep in mind too is to just be patient. They dry pretty quickly, but I think sometimes it's really easy when you start laying down your initial color and it looks splotchy and streaky to just kind of want to just keep slapping color on it um to fix it and blend it out. And sometimes I think you can kind of overcompensate when you do that. So if you just let your initial layers dry sometimes, you might find that it doesn't look as bad as you thought. Because even if you let your alcohol marker dry, your layer dry, you can still kind of play with it after the fact. Like additional marker will kind of reactivate those bottom layers so that you can kind of push it around a little bit. So, and I'm not going to do a background on this one, especially since I've been using the upper corner as a test palette. Actually, I'm going to put So I think I'm just going to go with a fairly neutral brown hair color. Since I used a paler color for the cloak, I'm going to use a darker color for her hair. All right, I'm going to give the cloak a minute and let's start working on her hair. So let's do Uh-uh. And okay, let's start with this. So I'm gonna do my my darker, my shadow areas first, and I'm going to use E29 Burnt Umber. And I might lose some of my hair texture on the on this since this is such a dark color, but we'll have to see how it looks when it dries. And this is tough for me because normally I work light to dark, but sometimes with alcohol markers it's actually better to flip the script and put your shadow colors in, your darker colors in first. I promise it'll look better once I get the once I get the other colors in here. Alright, so I'm going to move to my mid-tone, which is E25 Caribe Cocoa. And then I'll have to find a highlight color here. Then I'm gonna go back on these edges with some shade colors. So I'm kind of trying to use this the Caribe Cocoa to just kind of tone down the edges and blend some of those harsher edges on my darker color here. Okay, let me find a highlight color here, and what do I have that let's try E34. Let's try Toast. That's not too bad. I actually kind of like the bit of orange undertone that it gives, little auburn color there. And I can also use it to tone down some of the darker areas too. So let's just go through, start adding this in. And then I'll go back in with my mid-tone as well. actually really like the way this is turning out, and it would be darker over on this side anyways because the way her head is turned. Okay, I'm gonna finish up the rest of her hair off camera. I'm gonna pick a couple more colors for her eyes and for the lips and some of the jewelry, and then I will come back and we will finish her up. So I will see you guys in a second. Okay, we are back. So I did a little bit more work on this off camera. I finished up hair aside from a few little touch-ups, and then I pulled a couple additional colors to use for some shade colors, and I needed a different blue for this because it looked a little flat. But I think first we're going to start with finishing up her face. So I'm going to start with her lips because I'm not sure what color I want to do for eyes. So let's try I'm trying to find my color here. So I'm going to this marker's a little dried out. I think I have this. Where is it? Okay, so this is actually they changed the name of this. So I have a Skin White, which is the older version of E00, and then I have the new one, which is the Cotton Pearl. So I'm gonna put a little bit of this down first, and then I'm gonna come in with, so that's a little too orange. And that just gives it a little bit of like a fleshy color underneath than just straight pink. So this is RV00 Water Lily is the pink I used for her lips. And let's see. I'm gonna go with a little bit of this is E04 Natural Lipstick in some of these darker areas down here. And then I'm going to come back in with the Water Lily. How that looks. And for her eyes, let's do Mm. Alright, I'm gonna do some funky here, but let's start with Y32 Cashmere. Got kind of a wolf look with the just the yellow, but it's okay. That's gonna be our undertone. And then we're gonna come in with and this color list in the description is gonna be Sanity. Okay, well, I kind of messed that up and took it a little too far. Oops. Alright, that's okay. We can fix it. So her highlights and her eyes, I went a little too far on that. So we're just going to see if I can. Okay, that works. And then I want it a little darker up here. So this is the burnt umber. And that was just a white jelly roll pen I brought in. And we need a little more of the natural lipstick. I know I'm kind of bouncing around, but when I use alcohol markers, that's kind of how I like to work. Because as I mentioned earlier, sometimes you kind of got to let them dry to see how it looks before you just start slapping more marker on. And a little more like pink up here on her. Around her eyes. Okay. I'm happy with that. We fixed the highlight issue on her eye. So let's work a little bit on her cloak. So I pulled another blue. This is B45 Smoky blue because I felt like it needed a little something just to add some pop to the blue. It looked really flat with just the powder, yeah, the powder blue. And I'm just kind of smoothing out some of the edges here. And I am going to go back in with another pass with the neutral gray. It would be a little darker up here, so I'm going to add some shadow. And let's come over here, work a little bit on this side. All right, I'm gonna grab powder blue again. And I think for the ribbon, I'm gonna go darker. I'm gonna use the smoky blue for the ribbon. And then use the gray to for my shadow. So let's start with neutral gray. This is neutral gray 0. And I'm not gonna do a whole lot with her shirt down here. I think I'm just going to kind of splash in some of the neutral gray. Kind of leave it like her shirt is maybe white. So we've just got some like accent shading. And I can always go in with the next gray up as well. And let's see what else I have here. Alright, I'm gonna go up to a neutral gray 2. Just closer to some of these edges. And some of the little, like, lines and things like that. And we'll do a little down here on her hand with the darker gray. And let's do the neutral gray 02 on her sleeve cuff. And I think my next neutral gray is my next one up is neutral gray 5, and that's pretty dark. I don't have all of the Copics. I just kind of buy a few at a time depending on when I have extra cash. Actually, this is not as dark as I thought it was going to be. Although I think this was a used one. Possibly. This one may have came from a pre-owned lot I got on eBay. It's a little, either that or maybe just the brush needs to be replaced. No, it's kind of dry. I could have sworn I got this one new. Alright, so let's work on some of this jewelry, and I'm going to stick with the kind of gray silver theme, but I am going to bring in some darker blues for the jewelry. So let's do, this is B16 Lapis Lazuli, and I'm going to use this for, I think, the majority of these little pearl drop. And then let's try the colors we use for the cloak. Oh, I missed a bunch. Oh, let's... Back to, this is, I might have to go up to the, alright, so I'm gonna go up to the neutral gray 6 because the brush on my 5 was not cooperating, so let's super conservative with this. Pretty dark. And back to the 2. And I'm just kind of going through and just adding a little definition with the gray while I have it in my hand. And I'm sure like you know, you could really like take this as far as you want, depending on the look that that you're going for. And I tend to be pretty, I guess, like conservative, subtle when I'm working with alcohol markers. And let's grab, need to blend that out just a little. And I think that's it. I'm pretty happy with this. I mean, I'm sure once I finish recording it and sit here and look at it for a little while, I could probably come back and find little things where I might go back in with a gray and do some shadowing. But yeah, I think that's gonna be it for Amber. So, and as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, this is the buddy color from Corey over at Colorfully Optimistic's channel for this month. So I will tag her down below. Go check her channel out. She does a lot of tutorials, and if you really want to know how to do hair, especially with colored pencils, Corey is the one to watch. So that's going to be it for me today. I super appreciate all of the support. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more, be sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell to get notified when I post additional content, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much.